I've taken some cards from you folks before we got started. First question, Mr. Rollins. This is from Heidi. How exactly will you tackle the problem we have with corruption in politics? How do we get the money out of it?
Great question. So, look, this does affect our daily lives. And let's start off by thinking about inflation and gas prices. So, fortunately, we've gotten a little bit of reprieve lately, still too high. But look how many companies control the oil market in the United States. Roughly 4. They've got monopoly power over prices. And when you talk to people like Warren Buffett and you say, Warren Buffett, which companies should we invest in? He says, look for the companies that have moats around them, meaning they have total control of price. And that's companies like Shell, ExxonMobil, Chevron. And so when you look at the record prices that we've paid this year in Southern California, and you look at their record profits, Shell posting $9 billion in record quarterly profit recently, and keeping a margin of 20%, turning back to the small business owners, costs go up. If you want to keep customers in a competitive market, you have to cut into your own margins. Shell, Chevron, they don't have to do that because they don't have competitors. And so the reason I raised this in the context of corruption, because it contributes directly to votes like what Ken Calvert just did against the price gouging legislation. He is somebody who's gotten hundreds of thousands of dollars from the oil and gas industry, and it is no coincidence that he's voted against price gouging, which leads me to my first proposal: ban all corporate campaign contributions. Really proud to not take a cent from corporate PACs in this campaign. I'm really proud to have consistently outraised Ken Calvert, who's getting still hundreds of thousands per quarter from corporations, but we're funded by human beings. And look, after Citizens United, it is going to be a challenge because there are First Amendment constraints given this Supreme Court around what we can and cannot do. But I'm optimistic, given the popular support for ending corporate campaign contributions, that it is something that can happen meaningfully, and that even a constitutional amendment in this context is possible. And even short of an amendment, though, there's still other basic things that we can do in Congress and that a responsible legislator would do, like banning insider trading for all members of Congress, right? So let's think about what Ken Calvert did in the mid-2000s, right? He was a sitting member of Congress, bought up vacant parcels of land, earmarked federal highway transportation dollars for a new development near his own real estate, turned around and sold that real estate for an enormous profit just months later. That should be against the law, period. And we can legislate that. We can pass a law that makes that illegal. We can require members of Congress to put all of their assets into a blind trust, right? So there's no conflict of interest. And these things would be possible if we had representatives who were actually more interested in tackling corruption than they were about enriching themselves. And somebody like Ken Calvert, just look at his financial disclosures from 1992 to the present. This is somebody who went to Congress to become rich. And I am really proud to be retiring him this November, because you don't go to Congress to become rich. That's not the point of the job.